Hello everybody, my name is John McBride and I'm the owner and president of ACE Personal Development. This is the second video from the overview for the ACE original course, The 6 Steps to Realizing Your Dreams. Now since this is the second video, that must mean this is the second step, and you'd be right, this is the dreaming stage. Now this is where the fun begins. This is a part of the whole process where no rules apply, but first let's define some rules. In this step we need to understand the power of the subconscious and the conscious mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to explain a little bit about what each of those do. Now, if we were to compare the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, it'd be a little bit like comparing a 4-function calculator with, let's say, a NASA supercomputer. You see, your subconscious mind is so powerful that while your conscious mind is responsible and capable of taking in about 4 to 7 bits of information at a time, everything else in your life is controlled by your subconscious. From your heart rate to your breathing patterns, everything in your body is controlled by your subconscious mind. Something else that your subconscious mind is responsible for is omitting information. Now, most of the time, this information is inconsequential and relates to things like, oh, the breeze that you feel when you're walking down the street, or the pulse that you didn't feel coursing through your extremities. This is also where your learned behaviors and memories are stored, as well as your beliefs. This is a problem because your subconscious is also responsible for omitting inconsistencies. Now, whether these inconsistencies are something that's perceived in the physical world or something that's just inconsistent with your beliefs, it's omitted. So we need to define what our current subconscious beliefs are and redefine any of them that are self-limiting and negative. For example, if you had someone that always had a subconscious belief that they're always right, well, they're not going to get anywhere, because anytime someone has new information for them, well, it can't be accurate because it's inconsistent with their own beliefs. This person won't get anywhere because they're not willing to learn from the people around them. You could also consider somebody who has a subconscious belief that they're a failure or they're always going to screw things up. People that fall into this are also people that you see with a long string of bad relationships. While we're not in total control of the things that other people do in our relationships, most of the time things fall on ourselves. Both of these instances, what we see is some kind of failure mechanism activated, and this happens whenever they realize that they're in a similar situation that caused them pain before, so they're going to stop it now. In a relationship, that means doing something stupid or cutting off the relationship to avoid the conflict and pain that they associate from the past. For people who never complete anything or feel like they're always going to be failures, this means stopping short of a completed project because, well, it's unable to be scrutinized because it's not finished. This is their failure mechanism. It's a way of keeping themselves safe from something that we would all consider as success and something that's pleasurable. Because of their unhealthy relationship between failure and success and pain and pleasure, they're not linking things up correctly, and so they do things that don't seem normal to everyone else. So the major thing that we need to do is redefine what failure and success mean in accordance with pain and pleasure. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to define success with pleasure, and we're going to redefine what failure actually means. See, failure is not an excuse to stop, and it's been said that the only time you actually fail is when you fail to get back up. So what we need to define failure as is really a new way of receiving data. We can't associate failure with pain or pleasure too much, because if we were to associate it with pleasure too much, well, we'd embrace the experience too well. If we were to associate it with too much pain, well, we would never attempt anything because the pain of failure is just too high. So always remember that you have a new set of data as a result of a botched attempt. You haven't failed, you've simply refined your parameters for success. Another pleasure association that we can often have that limits us is our reliance on others and their opinions of us. While it is necessary to maintain relationships and be courteous to the people in our lives, it's not necessary for us to base everything in our lives that we value off of their opinion. If you really feel like opinions matter, then why don't you try buying your food and paying your electric this month with them? By the end of the month, you'll be starving and freezing. We should not let our lives be ruled by others or their perceptions or beliefs about us. Just remember what Napoleon Hill said. He said the number one reason that people fail is because they listen to their friends, family, and neighbors. So we need to rebuild this belief. Today you need to take power of your life into your own hands and realize that you have more information about your personal life than anyone else will ever have. Therefore, you're the most educated person about yourself, so no one else can really make an accurate guess about what's going to happen in your life. Really, the power is up to you, so if you decide that something's going to happen, well, it's pretty much guaranteed to happen. Now the power and responsibility for your life is yours. Don't give away your power, and like my father always told me, no one should live in your head rent-free. Now with the heavy stuff behind us, let's dig into the fun stuff. Now that we're taking control of our lives and giving the power back to ourselves, we've also associated positive things with failure and success. Let's make an outline for what our life's going to be from now on. This is going to be the blueprint of your life. Everything that you could ever imagine doing, having, seeing, being, living, experiencing, anything you would want to do, anywhere you would want to go, anywhere you would want to live. These are all the things that we're going to talk about and write down. But first, the things that you need to understand are that all resources are limitless. The only limited resource that we have is time, and everything else can be either restored or more can be made. With that thought in mind, imagine your life if all of your resources were readily available all the time and they were sufficient for anything you wanted to do. If you had all the time in the world, all the money in the world, and all the resources available to you that you needed, what would you be doing? If you knew success was the only option, what would you be trying to accomplish? If you knew there was no chance of failure, what would it be that you would spend your time doing? Take 10 minutes straight away at the end of this video and write down everything that you can think of. Everything that you could ever imagine doing, having, being, living, seeing, experiencing, or going to. Put it all down on pad and paper and make sure that you review this list every day. As a matter of fact, why don't you take a chance to watch this video as many times as you can over the next week and repeat this process every day. Once you have a good inclusive list of all your dreams, you should be reviewing this list frequently so that you can associate these things with reality. The only person that's going to make these things happen is you, with the help of the people around you. So you ready to design your new life? Have at it. And join us next time as we take this list of our dreams and refine it into our goals and begin to give it a little bit more form.